Buenos dias. Today we are at our friend Nehi's house. She is Don Juan's wife. And since we have so much milk these days from Blanca and Tara, we are getting a refresher course on how to make cheese. So right over here we have a huge pot of Blanca's milk. Pepe, is this from one milking?
Two.
From two milkings. She produced more than a gallon in the last milking alone. So our fridge is full of milk. We got to do something with it. I don't even really drink milk, just plain. So
Which means I have to drink double the milk.
yeah, so Pepe's drinking an obscene amount of milk. We're learning how to make it into cheese. So over here we have Blanca's milk in this pot, and the first step, if it isn't fresh milk, if you have already put it in the fridge and cooled it down, is to heat it back to about 30 to 35 degrees Celsius, which is about the temperature that it comes out from a cow's udder.
A little bit warmer.
Maybe a little bit warmer. So we will show you the rest of the steps and teach you how to make cheese, so you can make fresh queso fresco, Costa Rican farm cheese at home if you want to. And then we're gonna go home and test our skills and make goat cheese. We're gonna do the same thing with goat cheese because we have a ton of goat milk too, and see how that turns out.
We're gonna make basil goat cheese. Done it before, but it's been a long time, so.
And it's never really turned out perfectly, so hopefully today we will nail it.
¿Va que echar cuál en agua? No. Ah, yes, agua.
Is that the rennet?
So now the rennet is in, and you just let the milk do its thing. You're gonna start seeing it like slowly get, solid. The curds separate from the whey.
What is rennet?
Rennet is a extract of the intestines of an animal
Yum.
that causes the milk to curdle.
And how much?
It's like 2 drops of rennet per liter of milk, so it's probably like maybe 20 drops in this. There's like 10 liters. They discovered it when nomads were carrying milk around in the desert, and they would carry it in these bags made out of like stomachs, and the milk turned to cheese.
And they were like,
just from being
damn, the milk turned into this solid chunk. I guess we gotta eat it.
Delicious, creamy goodness, yeah. And they were like, fuck, this is actually delicious. So then that's where they got rennet from.
I really have a lot of respect and amazement for the first people who try these things. If you really think about it, a lot of things that we eat and drink are pretty gnarly, especially fermented foods like cheese. And they're totally normal, for the most part, they're totally normal to us and a part of our diet. But somebody had to be the first person to try that when it wasn't normal and they didn't know if it was okay. And a lot of these things are really an acquired taste. So, if I found a piece of cheese and I didn't know that it was okay and I ate it and tasted it, I would probably not think that it was okay. Did you like that or not? Oh!
So like 5 minutes later, as you can see, I'm cutting it now. See that?
Looks like tofu.
Yeah.
This cheese actually is a lot like tofu. It's probably a fairly similar process too, except that with tofu you have to make it into milk first.
This helps the whey separate from the curd.
So after cooking it and after adding the rennet, only 5 minutes to this point. So after you cut it into chunks, the next stage is we're gonna pour all the chunks and the liquid, the curds and the whey, through a strainer into a mold.
See this? That's the curds. This is the whey.
in the mold, all the liquid will strain out and the curds will clump together into a solid block. And that's pretty much it.
Salt time.
So after removing enough of the whey is when you add the salt before putting it into the molds. That's what we're about to do.
Me gusta con bastante, con poquito.
Por medio.
Medium salt.
Un poquito más de los que uno siente, porque
Obviously a very precise measurement. How much was that?
That one big ol' half a spoonful.
One big ol' half spoonful for our liking. You could put more, you could put less, obviously.
Esto es porque no hay guantes, ¿verdad?
And now we finally put it in the mold. This mold is basically like a small bucket with a lot of holes in it. And she's got cheesecloth in there so that none of the curds go through those big holes. And that's where it will stay for how long? Like a day?
No.
A few hours?
No. ¿Cuánto dura ahí en el molde?
Eso depende de lo que usted quiera. Y si lo quiere un poquito más escurrido, lo deja un poquito más.
Just however long you want. Or whatever you want.
All right.
If you want it. If you
Love
want it-
specific instructions.
Yeah, if you want it dry or wet, you leave it in longer or shorter.
That makes perfect sense. This stage I didn't know about. Este? Now we're gonna press the hell out of it. We're really gonna squeeze the water out. Guess this really speeds up the process. She's such a badass.
Wow.
We always get unexpected surprises and gifts and usually introduced to new fruits and foods while we're here. This is a Granada del Monte, which means a Granada.
Pero es una
A wild
granada en
granada.
realidad.
Pero a mí me gusta.
Uh-huh.
Sí, es muy
I
buena.
can already taste it.
Tiene un perfume.
Si está perdido en el monte y encuentra eso, se lo come.
¿Cómo las semillas?
Todo.
¿Cómo
Sí,
es?
todo, yo me saco todo.
Uh-huh.
Sabe muy
Give me
bien.
some.
Las semillitas ni la más
Ácido.
trágueselas ácido.
Yo me las hago tragadas.
Claro. Pues, sí, igual que las cosas.
Sabe muy bien.
Sabe muy bien, definitivamente.
Es como maracuya. It's like a passion fruit.
Sí, pero más
Sí,
dulceta,
sí, pero es mejor.
Menos
me da-
ácido.
Menos ácida.
It's very crunchy
Pepe,
seeds.
y esta es pequeña. Hay unas en el monte que pueden ser del tamaño de este cuchillo.
Sí, viera cómo se hacen grandes.
Y
Apparently
así
they
como
can
una
be
papaya.
huge.
Y son del monte.
Y es una vanica igual.
No,
Una enredadera, ¿eh?
es una enredadera.
Things like
Sí,
this
como la maracuya.
Y
are
usted
really
puede
good
traérsela
to
para
press
la
through a
casa.
sieve and mix with water
sembrarla,
and make it
como por
refresco
ahí,
like
en aquel
lemonade.
pedazo donde están las gallinas.
Ajá.
Y ella se agarra por la malla.
Tal vez traigo algunos para sembrarlo.
Yo lo que sabía.
Un día que vayamos a la montaña,
Ajá.
yo se la voy a enseñar.
Ajá.
Pero es una fruta muy rica.
See, we should take that and plant it to grow on
Sembrarlo.
the chicken coop or the lattice on the porch or something.
Hay muchas cosas en el monte que se comen muy
Sí.
buenas. Demasiado buenas.
Wow.
Juan knows about all the wild edibles and botanicals.
Yo voy al monte solo a comer cosas.
He goes in the forest just to eat things.
Hay muchas
What would
cosas
you do
en el
without
monte
Juan?
que se comen.
We learned so much from him.
¿Has visto esos programas de
Como
Wow, so
Como
definitely not a
arenosito,
few hours. This was like
La textura es-
15 minutes at the
muy
most.
rica. Sí.
So yeah, pressing it really sped that up.
Wow.
Look at these little little moles on it from the
Yo
holes in
creo
the
que me hizo
mold.
falta, ¿sabes?
No.
A la puñeta, qué amarillo.
Es que Blanca hizo la leche muy
Sí, la leche es muy buena.
¿Cómo es, Pepe?
Ah, sí. Riquísimo.
Juan thinks that Blanca is the greatest cow in the world and that she has the
Entonces,
best
quiere
milk.
ahora, deja un pedazo para
He always
comer.
is commenting on how
No,
wonderful
se lleva la
Blanca is.
mitad.
Y ahora la baniste porque sabía granadilla.
Ah.
Whenever you hang out with Don Juan, it's not optional. You have to go on at least a small educational tour. I don't even know what's happening right now. But he's taking us to show us something. He's trying to take us and show us where he got the wild granada from so that we can take a piece of the plant and plant it at our house. Now we are learning about
Como
a natural, locally made zompopa
cítrico.
killer. Zompopas are the leafcutter ants that are constantly ruining our lives on our farm and destroying everything that we plant.
en
So
el hueco. En
En
el...
el
this
hueco.
is interesting.
En el hueco. Se aplica. Sí, tiene cítrico.
Tiene cítrico, ¿sí?
Sí, sí.
Y sirve bien.
Dicen que sí, que está funcionando muy requete bien.
¿Verdad?
Sí.
¿Y como cuánto se echa por el huequito?
Yo más
Smells
o
good.
menos en ese que fui a tratar le
Unlike
eché como
most
este
poisons.
por hueco.
He's
Como
saying
este.
you put it down in their holes.
¿Qué será?
Tiene tabaco.
It contains tobacco
Tabaco y cáscara de naranja.
and orange peel.
Pero vino a la Universidad Nacional Ondel y él no le quiso decir de qué lo había hecho. Pero yo no sé si tendrá más de ahí, más cáscara de naranja con tabaco.
This is very exciting. Now he's showing us a different plant called Guayabita
Ay,
de
fue mi
Peru.
alma.
It's another wild fruit. Those little balls,
Ajá.
Tú es tuya,
they're tiny.
es que es duro.
Se explotó.
Sí, se explotó. Esta sí se puede comer así ya.
Ajá.
Sí, esta ya está podrida. Mira.
Very sour, very thick skin, gravelly seed. Not into it. All right, so we got everything we need and more to go home and make our own cheese and kill some zompopas, which we always need to do.
There's a dude in Atenas, which is in the San Jose district, I think, that is making a natural leafcutter ant remedy. So I'm of course very stoked about that. It's made out of tobacco and orange peels.
Leafcutter ant situation is, I don't even know
Out
the
of
word.
control.
It's out of control. It's very bad. Every time we walk around the farm, we see more and more mounds and highways and devastation. So I'm always very excited to kill some more zompopas. And now we go and try to repeat this process of making cheese, except we don't have a thermometer and we don't have rennet, so we're gonna use lemon juice. So
And our finger.
it'll be interesting, but we'll show you and tell you the truth about how that goes.
Wish us luck.
See, here's a little path of them right here. You see those little moving pieces of green confetti? That's them carrying little shreds and bits of our plants from our yard across the driveway to their mounds somewhere over there. But you know what? Y'all are not going to win. You're not even gonna survive because we've got poisons.
So the goat cheese was a success. I did a little taste test just to make sure before I go show Coco, but I think he's gonna be really excited. Let's check it out. It's got fresh, homegrown chives. Coquito! Guess what I made?
What is it?
Goat cheese, and it was successful this time.
Wow, look at it. It looks like a little brain.
That's right.
Yeah. What are the green specks?
Chives.
Oh.
Homegrown chives.
Wow. This is the first time we've made goat cheese that is like queso fresco. It's like the rubbery, dense consistency of the cheese we made with Nehi. So, major success.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Gracias. Everything is fine.
Abundance! You guys, I just realized today as I was doing chores and cleaning the chicken coop how much fucking food we have grown and harvested on our own just recently, like over the past few weeks. And I had this idea I was gonna spread it out. I was like, I'll put some mustard greens, some eggs, and some maracuya, some passion fruit, and take a little picture of it. And then as I started gathering everything that we have, it took up this entire space back here.
We've been working so hard that we haven't even noticed like how much we've been stocking up from things that are falling from the trees and things we're digging up. But we have so much food and medicine. I've made gavilana balm for wounds, gavilana tincture. It's all antimicrobial stuff. Some infused alcohol, rum with nance fruit, pumpkin, sweet and delicious, lemons, tomatoes, eggs.
So many
from our
eggs.
Ladies, ginger and turmeric. More medicine coming up there. Maracuya, which is passion fruit.
Maracuya is popping
Maracuya
off.
is just like, we don't know what to do with it. We're making drinks, we're making maracuya lemon bars, we're making everything. Piñas, very tiny, but very delicious. Mustard greens, one of my favorite greens, if not my favorite green. Very spicy, very yummy. It's like wasabi in the nose. Very good for you. And then, some like surprise jalapenos. Oop, there went a pineapple. And last but certainly not least, a shit ton of dairy products. We've got fermented kefir, goat milk, cow's milk, cheese, whey from the cheese making process. So we're like
About ready to go to the farmer's market and
Yeah.
set up a stand.
sold our first 2 like bottles of milk to our neighbors because we have so much. So
Just handed it right over the fence. And she's a repeat customer, by the way. And down here we have a dwarfed mango tree. We got inspired in Italy actually because they have dwarfed lemon trees that grow in pots and produce tons of fruit. So we're hoping that if we keep this one here under the greenhouse roof that we built, it'll do the same thing. And cacao babies. So yeah, this is super exciting. Sometimes we feel like, God, we're doing all this work and we feel like we're hardly growing anything. So many things that we try to plant are destroyed by leafcutter ants. It's a real thing. You hear us bellyache and moan all the time about how hard this is, but moments like this, we see that it's really paying off, and this is just the 2 of us, and we're just getting started. So we're very excited for more abundance.
we've been stressed lately, but today it's feeling like too blessed to be stressed.
So come on down and let us make you some quiche. I'm learning how to make crusts because yum.
And because too many eggs.
We're ready for you. Come on over whenever you can.